If you like what you heard, please press. No, I'm just kidding. How are y'all doing today? I'm Willie Bragg. Welcome to another episode of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm back after a brief hiatus. I had some technical issues the other day. Didn't feel like dealing with it. Now I dealt with it, and I'm ready to do my little live stream. So here I go. So let me do my shout outs real quick to everyone that's here so far, and I will do my shout outs to everyone else who may come along during this live stream. So hello Warren, how are you doing today? Hey, hola peeps. And let's see, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, everyone? How's it? And we have Kim. How are you doing today? Hi, everyone. What's new, Warren? So, and anybody else who's here, welcome on board to the Willie Bragg Show. I hope you will enjoy this ride. Well, what I'm going to talk about, I normally talk about politics, and there's a little bit of politics here, but it's a little more lighthearted. And the only political critique I have here is on the lighter end. I just want to talk about Doctor Who because I like Doctor Who and the controversy that came into my attention. Now, I don't really watch Doctor Who as often as I need to because I don't have cable and I just don't have access. So any catching up with Doctor Who is going to be maybe months, sometimes a year or two later. It's not like it used to be when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I watched Doctor Who on PBS, and I think I pretty much covered it from the days of William Hartnell all the way to Sylvester McCoy back in the 1980s. And to tell you the truth, I started watching Doctor Who in November 1982. That was my first exposure to Doctor Who. I saw kind of like an advertisement for it a year or two earlier on PBS, and it looked goofy. I was like, I don't know about this show. This little blue police box and this guy with a long scarf and the curly hair looks kind of goofy. Then one afternoon, I watched it. I was like, this is actually not a bad show. I misjudged it quite a bit. And so I've been Doctor Who fan since then. And I watched it all the way till about 1991 when PBS just abruptly yanked it off the air. And now 1988, 89, 88, believe the BBC yanked Doctor Who off the air. They just decided to cancel the show for the time being. And they brought it back in 1996 as a movie, which was kind of Americanized. It was okay. It's not the way I would have wrote the script, but it was. They brought it back with Sylvester McCoy, keep the continuity going, and they had Paul McGann as the Doctor. And then that was supposed to be a pilot for the return to Doctor Who, but somehow that didn't happen until 2005 when they brought it back with Christopher Eccleston to the current Doctor that we have. And so I just wanted to talk about that and everything. Now, I also want to talk about the controversy for the 60th anniversary that took place several months ago. I'm a little late in the game talking about it because it came to my attention just recently, like maybe about a month ago. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and just stuff keeps going on, and shit in the Middle East is happening, and that's almost deterred me from not talking about this. But this story is already dated as it is, and to prevent it from getting any more dated, I'm going to talk about it because, unfortunately, the shit going on between Israel and Iran is not going to be dated anytime soon, and I don't see any positive prospects going on over there. So, and you'll see me doing a video in the next couple of days about that as well. But anyway, let me get started in the beginning. So, shall we say? So, Doctor Who. The first story from Doctor Who that I got exposed to was Genesis of the Daleks, and So and that was back in 1982. The story came out in 1975, and the story is essentially about the. You probably know who the Daleks. I know that every one of y'all know what the Daleks are. I mean, even if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, you know what Daleks are. So, but just in case you didn't know, I'll go ahead and put it up here for you. The the adult size salt and pepper shaker in the background is what you call a Dalek, and that's the actor Christopher Eccleston when the series came back. So, a Dalek is basically a. It's not really a machine, although that's what it looks like. A Dalek is a creature inside of a Dalek, and and the creature used to be a human being, and they are the remains of what is called the Khalid people, and for them to survive, they have to live inside of a tank-like machine, which would be called a Dalek. It was created by Davros. So, and that's basically what we're going to be talking about here is the character of Davros and the controversy about Davros. So, but to go and give you a premise of Genesis of the Daleks, which is one of the most popular stories from Doctor Who. One of them. I mean, there's several other Doctor Who stories that are popular, but it's one of the most popular Doctor Who stories. Came out in early 1975. Was one of the early Doctor Who stories with Tom Baker. You know, the guy with the long scarf and the curly hair. So Tom Baker is the incarnation of the old classic Doctor Who series. It was Tom Baker. Well, Tom Baker. Tom Baker basically. I'm trying to find a photo right now, and I will find it. I will find it if it kills me. Yeah, here we go. Tom Baker is a Time Lord. The Doctor is a Time Lord, as you all know, and his traveling companions in the early series was Sarah Jane Smith and Harry Sullivan, and the Doctor was sent to Skaro, which was the planet where the Daleks came from, kind of against his will by the Time Lords, because the Doctor is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. One of the Time Lords came there to summon the Doctor, to send him on a mission. And the mission was to try to prevent the creation of the Daleks, or to try to affect the historical timelines of the Daleks so they evolve into less aggressive or evil creatures. And that was the mission of the Doctor. And it was one of the few episodes of Doctor Who where the Doctor failed. As you can see right here, he's got his hands on two wires. He had an opportunity to destroy the Khalid people that were mutating into the Dalek creature that was to go inside of the casing. And he didn't do it because it was a quote-unquote intelligent life form. And if he did this, he'd be committing genocide, or he'd be no better than the Daleks themselves. And so at the end of the day, he decided not to do this. And in not doing so, you could say that he's failed in his mission. His mission was to prevent the creation of the Daleks. But here's the thing. He found out about the beginning of the histories of the Daleks. The Time Lords did not know exactly how the Daleks evolved or what have you, and the Doctor investigated what happened, and that's what basically where the story began. So that's kind of important to know, and I will explain about Skaro. Skaro is a planet that was at war for 1,000 years. I'm sounding like a science fiction nerd today. I do apologize, but I'm a Doctor Who fan, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. So basically, Skaro is a planet that's at war. They've been at war for 1,000 years by two societies, the Thals and the Khalids. I guess you could call them nation states, and they are superpowers of sorts or something. And they have been in war for 1,000 years, and they were very advanced societies. And throughout the 1,000 years, they have used every method to try to exterminate each other. We're talking about nuclear weapons, biological weapons, chemical weapons, everything you can imagine under the sun. The the oceans evaporated, the environment, the ecology of the planet just went to shit. And it just got down to basically two fortresses or two domed cities were left on this planet. And one side with the Collins and the other side with the Thals. Now you look at the uniforms that they're wearing, and that's another interesting aspect of what's going on there. Because when you watch the I'm trying to find the uniforms here. So give me a moment here. References are really important. We'll start with the Collins, the people that became the Daleks. You probably notice that the Collins are dressed kind of fascist, and Collins spelled backwards is Dalek. So, and these people are giving each other the Roman salute, and they're clicking their heels, and the technology on both sides went into reverse to the point where they're basically fighting with weapons very similar to what people on Earth were fighting with in World War I and World War II, even though they have no connections with the planet Earth or anything like that. By coincidence, that's I guess they're just trying to make that as a projection on the series. So the Collins, their pistols are German Lugers and things like that, and of course you see the uniforms and all that sort of thing. And the Collins are kind of assholes. They really are. Not every college. There's some colleges that had a conscience and they did not like what was going on too. You know, just like there are Germans that did not like what Hitler was doing in Germany during World War II. There were Germans that were against that shit that was going on in Germany. On the side of the Thals, if you notice the uniforms, they're kind of dressed, you know, like our GI soldiers. If you watch the Genesis of the Daleks series, there is even more the case when you watch them. I was just trying to find some photos that would show you the case. And of course, you notice they're wearing gas masks and that sort of thing. And that's what the planet is like. They're on both sides. They're wearing gas masks. There's landmines and barbed wire, trenches, that sort of thing. It looked like planet Earth. Even though it's kind of World War II looking, it's almost World War I looking at the same time. And so it's very dystopian, this world here. So Davros is the creator of the Daleks. So I need to go and reference Davros here real quick. And hold on a second. Let's do the classic Davros that everybody knows what he looks like. So give me a second here. Yes, he's holding the Doctor prisoner. The guy in the wheelchair. And most people who know who Doctor Who is, those who Doctor Who is, knows about the Daleks, they even know who Davros is. If you notice Davros, that's the guy with the leather jacket on the right in the chair. That bottom part of the chair looks like a Dalek, like the bottom part of a Dalek. Now, it's an indicator right there that obviously he's on his way to becoming a Dalek, and apparently throughout the series, he just never was able to become fully Dalek. That there was some semblance of his human form that was kept intact. And and that's kind of the important part to know. Well, Davros didn't always look like that. There was a young Davros that was shown in a later series for Doctor Who called The Magician Apprentice, when he was a little kid trapped in a minefield. They were called hand mines, and you'll be seeing a clip of that in a little bit there. so you know what I'll be talking about. Well, the doctor, in the form of Peter Capaldi, had to go back in time to go and save this kid's life. Now, at this point, this kid is not evil. This kid is just a kid. This is Davros as a young kid. And he's not evil at this point. He's just a kid. But he grew up. And he became, as an adult, if I can find it, here we go. This is apparently Davros as an adult before he became deformed and in the wheelchair. And this is the important part. Children in Need, by the BBC. They had a Children in Need special as a way to celebrate Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. And the name of the episode was Destination Skaro. And basically what the story is about is Davros, before he got injured, was deformed and had to be put on a life support system that became that chair. So he was human. His arms were functional. His legs were functional. He was just like, he was just a normal human being. He was kind of an asshole at this point, but he was a human being fully at this point as well. And at this point, he was also creating what is known to be the Dalek. This is sort of like a prequel to Genesis of the Daleks, in a way. And this came out in 2023. Genesis of the Daleks came out in 1975. This came out, Destination Skaro came out November 2023. So just keep that also in mind as well. So we're getting underway here. So let me find Russell T. Davies. So give me a moment here. Well, first, before I go with Russell T. Well, actually, let me go with Russell T. Davies first. So Russell D. Davies decided to write this story about Davros because a lot of people were getting all upset about Davros not being in the wheelchair. And the controversy is that he's planning to bring Davros back from now on, not in the wheelchair. And some people say, oh no, Doctor Who's going woke. Oh, can you believe it? Doctor Who's going woke. Can you believe it? And Russell T. Davies, basically his explanation was, we're doing this for children in need, and we're vilifying people who are disfigured or handicapped or what have you. And, why do we need to do this? And here's the thing, as far as the wokeness behind this, and, when it comes to wokeness, and this is my personal political commentary about wokeness, I agree with the shit that the extreme SJWs wants as far as what they're trying to achieve. I just differ in the cancel culture part and the censorship part, the censorship industrial complex, the thought policing and all of that. I'm a free speech absolutist, as you all know, and that sort of thing. So this is where I differ with them. But on what they want, it's what I want. We're for the same things. It's just cancel culture and censorship is where I part ways with them, with due respect, and I just wanted to go and say that because I do think that the censorship and the cancel culture is detrimental. It harms the left more than it could possibly help. And when you do that and you don't concentrate on class warfare, then, we're fucked. And we're in the situation we're in right now. So I just a food for thought right there. But with Russell T. Davies doing this on wokeness, as far as the more obnoxious side of the woke crusades, this is pretty mild. And I don't, if he's doing it the way I think he's doing this, I still don't see any controversy with it because we're talking about a prequel to Genesis of the Daleks, where he was human. We all knew Davros was fully human. And then if he's doing a post Genesis of the Daleks story where Davros is recuperated, well, why not? Because, I mean, the dude apparently lived hundreds, if not thousands of years. And you're in that fucking little wheelchair device, and you can live that long. Why can't plastic surgery fix what's wrong with you? Why can't you have legs and arms that couldn't function again if they're not just prosthetics or what have you? You know, why not? So I have no problems with Davros, this new variation of Davros on Doctor Who. I have no problems with it at all. So I just wanted to go and clear that as well. One more point. We're going to go back to Genesis of the Daleks here. Give me a second. On Genesis of the Daleks, when it came out in 1975, there was a lot of controversy behind it. And this lady here, her name is Mary Whitehouse. And she was a conservative crusader, kind of like the British version of Phyllis Schlafly and what we call the Christian right here in the United States today. But the difference between the Christian right in the United States and, let's say, the Christian right in Great Britain is that the Christian right, they're going to be slightly more polite about their clutching of their church pearls than they are here in the United States. So there is that. But they are still annoying just the same. And he basically was crusading against a permissive culture of sex, drugs, and rock and roll back in the 1960s. You know, all the debauchery and the whole excesses of this hippie drug-fied societies and what have you. And then when the story of Genesis of the Daleks came out, she was triggered because she felt like it was glorifying Nazism. Now, Terry Nation, that wrote the story of Genesis of the Daleks, was anti-war. He was anti-war. He was a pacifist. He wrote Genesis of the Daleks specifically. Now, he wrote a story about the Daleks that was another Dalek story. But when the BBC said, let's go back to their beginnings, he decided to go with this grim story of Genesis of the Daleks, this dystopian time. And he did it because he was of age during World War II, and he was extremely anti-war. And this was basically an anti-war message. This was not by any means a glorification of Nazism, although, you know, I will understand why people would have that impression. So what I'm going to do here, give you kind of an illustration a little bit. Give me a moment here. Do a nice little illustration of the series. And let me go ahead and do this. No, not that one. Not that one. See, do we want this one? Yeah, an example of what we call a future Dalek. Let's do that. So let me go ahead and right there. Give me a moment here. We will get started underway. Where are you? Here we go. And make sure I got everything is set up. Yeah, let's do this. That's going to be better. Okay, this is an example of a future Dalek right here with this young General Ronson talking to the doctor. So let me get that out of the way.
We'll wipe every trace of the Thals and their city from the face of this land. We will avenge the deaths of all Khalids who fallen in the cause of right and justice, and build a peace which will be a monument to their sacrifice. Our battle cry will be total extermination of the Thals.
It's very impressive.
total extermination of the Thals. They're giving you a hint that is a featured Dalek right there. That is a featured Dalek. So, as I said, this story caused a lot of controversy at the time, and all of that. So, another example of this story here. Let me see. And how are y'all doing tonight, by the way? I'm glad to be back online. All right. Well, as you can see right here, there's an example of the battlefield where it starts. There's our Thals. You're out there in the battlefields. There are Khaleds. You get the idea. There's Davros. That sort of thing. A Dalek. You get the idea. So, this is sort of thing. As again, there were people that were upset about this back in the 1970s. And if you get the DVD, there are actually extra clippings of like documentaries, commentaries about this whole thing. So let's see here. We have yeah, right here we go. Give me a second. And here's an example of right here too. As soon as it starts playing. My computer's spongy tonight. What's new?
And keep quiet.
If I may have your attention. For some time, I have been experimenting with the Mark III project.
He called it the Mark III project. As I said, you could tell the bottom half of the machine. That's you can tell he's on his way to becoming Dalek. So here we go.
Details and modifications will be distributed later. However, I am anxious that you should see immediately the remarkable results that I have achieved. And to that end, I have arranged this demonstration.
Oh, the dramatic scene right here. I'm going to give it away. The dramatic scene of what is supposedly everybody's reaction of the very first Dalek in existence. Woo, scary stuff.
Dalek. The primitive, but unlike a Dalek. You're mistaken. It's a Mark III travel machine.
It was a Mark III travel machine. It was probably the least comical Doctor Who story ever. They downplay a lot of comedy, and it was very gray and kind of not morbid, but drabby. It was kind of a dreary story, and when I see the Khaleds, this is what I think of when I see the Khaleds. This is what I think of. Right here. This is what I think of right here.
That's all the time we have. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen. We're meeting some girls later. Come on, Dieter.
That's what I think of. It's time for this broadcast where we dance. Anyway, to make a long story short, people want to act like things just went nuts with changing of the format behind the character of Davros. I frankly don't think it's that big a deal. It really isn't. So Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Are any of you Doctor Who fans? As I said, I've watched the show pretty strongly, at least in reruns. I watched the show pretty strongly. I do watch it on my DVD. I have quite a few DVDs of the Doctor Who series, although DVDs are hard to come by these days right now. But I don't really want to go and shop at Amazon, but it is what it is, right? But anyway, yeah, as I said, I've been watching the series, and uh, I I watch a lot of British TV, so it's not just Doctor Who. I mean, in fact, when I was back in the early '80s, I started watching Monty Python's Flying Circus. I started watching Doctor in the House, which is about the NHS students. Found out about socialized medicine. Found out how much sense it makes to have that system. Butterflies, Good Neighbors, which Good Neighbors in a weird way is sort of like a British version of Green Acres. I'm telling you, it's like Green Acres a decade later. Then there's Till Death Us Do Part was the original All in the Family before there was All in the Family. Steptoe and Son became Sanford and Son here. Yeah, a lot of British comedies got Americanized, by the way. I just wanted to let y'all know. Too Close for Comfort is basically an Americanized version of Butterflies, in my judgment. So, and Coronation Street's been around forever. I believe it's still on. And when it comes to British drama, they are second to none. They are top of their game. I love British television. I love British dramas and everything. And when I feel very punk rockish, I love the young ones. I'm still a big fan of the young ones to this day. So just and the politically incorrect side of me and the sort of naughty sexual kind of debauchery side of me likes to watch Benny Hill because he's a dirty old man just like me. So and it just kind of like respect strength right there for that too. A little bit politically incorrect for today, but you know what, that's why I like it. So anyway, if y'all like what you heard, please press like and comment if you disagree with me. Anyway, we'll have a conversation. Feel free to share content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are in fact the muckrakers of our time. Basically, just subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show. Help me get to 1,000. We're getting there. So help me get to 1,000 subs pretty soon. And you can make that happen. And for people who recently subscribed, and for all of y'all that have subscribed to my channel and supported me all these years, I don't say this enough. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and supporting me. Really, that means a lot to me. And I know it sounds kind of cliche for people to say that, but if you're behind this chair and you do the content making, you would know what I'm talking about. Warren knows what I'm talking about because I'm a big fan of Warren's work. I like the work you do, Warren. So that's the thing right there. And we all got to help each other with independent media. And that's one thing I love about this space is, some of the people I have met, well, if not in person, have met online and corresponded with and get along with and everything. And, just we're all in the same boat. We all got something to say. We all have, more or less similar values, and we're up against a right-wing media and its rivalous shit-lib ally that they hate the left just as much as the right wing hates the left. So there is that. So I urge each and every one of you to reject corporate media. Please do so. And remember to free Julian Assange, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, and free speech. All very important. Y'all take care, and you'll see me soon. I promise. Take care. Peace.